Hello, this is Witch Nikki, and very soon, spring of 2021 will be here. So I wanted to take time today to share this story with you. It's very special to my family and to the Cherokee people and for me. When I was about between 3 and 4, my oldest sister, who was quite older than me, was dying of cancer. And in the hospital, they wouldn't allow children to come into to visit with people in the hospital in their rooms. It was against the rules. So she would share her dinner, dessert, like cookies sometimes, most of the time, just cookies on a little cardboard dish. And since it was made out of cardboard, like egg carton, she would paint, or not paint, but use crayons and draw butterflies on it, because she used to tell me this story at bedtime. And she would end the story by giving me butterfly kisses, flickering your eyes together. So I remember this story many years ago, and I had a visit in a sweat lodge from my grandmother, and my grandmother told me that I must tell the story and put it in talking leaves. She said it was a special visit. My grandmother died like 1929. So I never met her. I saw a lot of pictures, and in a sweat lodge she came to me and said that I must write the butterfly story. And so I tried. I had no problem telling the story and writing it out, but what I had trouble with was the illustrations. So I went online, met a person that did the publishing. She had a friend who did illustrations, so we put them together. The book is available at Amazon, as far as I know. But anyways, I'm going to read the back here, and then I'm going to read the story. Grandfather sat and contemplated the coming winter and how sad the children would be with nothing to play with. Grandfather made a special pouch and placed colorful things from nature within it. Grandfather then gathered the children around the tree where the pouch hung and told them that a beautiful, colorful surprise would emerge in the spring. The New Colorful Creatures is an ancient Cherokee tale. The story has been handed down from generation to generation in oral tradition and is now available in book form that is beautifully illustrated, sure to become a family favorite. In the winter, and pick up a copy of this beautiful story today and discover the spring surprise Grandfather has in store. So I'd like to read that, the story to you. And thank you very much for listening. This does say As Remembered by Nikki Jo Porras. I went by that name for my own personal reasons. And they're very personal reasons, but I won't get into that right now. As remembered, I remembered a certain part of it about the grandfather and about the butterflies, and then I kind of remembered that my sister would give me butterfly kisses. But I was a child, so I had to sit and think and remember the story. It took time for it to all come back. And there was part of it that I'm told I sent a copy, not a hard copy, but my rough draft I sent to some Cherokee elders that I knew. And they gave their blessings to me to sort of recreate the story. They said it was very wonderful, and that they gave their blessings for me to write the story from my heart, how I remember it, and adding the other stuff, because I had no one around to tell me at that time how the whole story went. So some of it, most of it, is taken from traditional, and some of it has been added by me. So here we go. The New Colorful Creatures, as remembered by Nikki Jo Porras, illustrated by Sarah Stever. When I finish reading, I'll hold up the pages and show you. This publishing company has since ceased working, but it is called Dreaming Dragons Publishing. It actually has a Library of Congress control number in it also. So, anyways, I just thought I would mention that. A long time ago, just before the white blanket covers the earth, Grandfather sat under a tree and watched the colored leaves fall to the ground. Soon the white blanket will come and cover the earth, he said to himself. He sat quietly and thought. He had many things to do in the early days of years ago. Can you see the mysterious face of Grandfather? As he sat there, he thought about the children. All winter long, they would not have anything to play with. He felt sad. He just sat there quietly thinking. By sunset, he had a beautiful idea. I'm going to make sure that I'm holding it. Pictures are very beautiful. And I want to make sure that I'm holding them. You can get a little look at this. This is the perfect time of year for this story. By the next crisp morning, he began to work on his idea. First, he made a special pouch. Then he looked for colorful things to put in it. That looks a lot like a grandfather's hand, doesn't it? And here's the special pouch. Green from an evergreen tree, blue from the sky, white from some corn, black from a raven's wing, red from some flowers, and yellow from the sun. At the last minute, he took the songs from the songbirds and put them into the pouch as well. With a twinkle in his eyes, he hung the pouch in the tree where it would be safe until spring. He then called the children to him. He spoke very gently. The Mother Earth will be covered for several months, and many creatures will go to sleep. There will be nothing for you to do, and food will be scarce, and you will be cold. You should not complain. And in this pouch is a new colorful creature that will greet you in the spring, for those of you who are good and patient all winter. However, he spoke in a sterner voice, if anyone looks into the pouch before spring, winter will stay freezing cold forever. He loved the children, but he knew that all children needed rules. He knew the children would do as he said. The children knew to obey Grandfather. They knew many would suffer if winter stayed cold forever. Finally, the snow came, and the children stayed warm inside their blankets and dreamt of new, colorful creatures that would come in spring. The children visited the tree every day and made up songs and dances to thank Grandfather for the new surprise that would come any day. The children dreaming of what could it be? A red bunny, a blue bear, a purple deer, or a yellow wildcat. Oh, and the children looking up. I love these pictures. They came out really, really well. Finally, one morning, the sun was warm enough to melt the snow. Colors began to show. One day, the pouch began to wiggle and squirm. See the green popping up places because the snow's melting and the growth of plants are coming forth. There's the bag, squirming and wiggling. All of a sudden, poof, the pouch burst open. Fluttering out were teeny little creatures smaller than birds, even smaller than the hummingbirds. They sung beautiful songs, the prettiest anyone has ever heard. That's the poof, and here's the little creatures. Nowadays, we know exactly what they're called. One little songbird came up to Grandfather and said, Grandfather, you are always wise and fair, but this time you are not fair. You gave our song voice to the new colorful creatures. Now they are beautiful and sing our songs. Grandfather listened. Grandfather, who is always fair and wise, told the birds, "You are right, and you shall have your singing voices back." The little birds started to sing songs of happiness and thanks. One of the older girls asked Grandfather, "But what job do these little creatures have? They are so little. What can they do?" Grandfather explained that the new colorful creature's job was to kiss the flowers awake in the spring and help them to grow. One little boy asked, "Grandfather, what shall we name them?" After watching the creatures for a while, he said, "They went to the buttercups and they fly, so let them be called butterflies." The children made up butterfly dances. The people of the world are like butterflies. They come in all sizes and colors. Each one has a gift, wonderful and special, to give to life on earth. Find your gift. It's in your heart. Look at this butterfly. Can you see the faces? This was excellent. I love this. I literally cried when I saw it because it was just so beautiful. And that's that. About me, Nikki Jo is a granddaughter of a Cherokee grandma and Irish grandpa. They both met in a boarding school. Her grandmother and great aunt were left there in the 1880s. When she was 17, her grandmother used to tend to small children and tell them stories that she remembered her great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother telling her. This story captured her grandfather's attention and the way she made the children laugh. They fell in love. Nikki Jo is a creator of stories and other forms of art. She is now a mother and grandmother, and she would love to be able to give a special book to her granddaughter, Ginger Lily, and that Ginger will remember her special times together. Nikki Jo Porras has told stories to school children, and they loved it. A school teacher inspired her to publish her stories so it could be read at home and school. Nikki Jo wants to share these stories with other children and adults so they will know how important reading is and how special family reading time can be. At the time, I didn't have my grandson, River, but this includes him now too. And this is about the illustrator. Born and raised in Nez Perce territory, Sarah got her hands on digital medium in 1986 at the age of 11. She helped out at WSU's graphics department during high school and graduated from the Art Institute of Seattle in 1996. As of 2013, she was living in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains, working as a freelance web designer with her British partner. When she's not sitting in front of a screen, she's off in the woods engaging in culinary experiments and raising chickens. So that's my book. And I plan on sharing it or part of it with a group that I'm in virtually on kind of like Zoom, but not Zoom. I don't want to give it away exactly because of privacy for that group. Thank you so much for listening to this. And you can look for this book on Amazon. And I hope you do. I hope you liked it. And I just thought it would be a cute, wonderful little story to share during this beginning of spring coming. So thank you so much.